Hey guys, Insomnia here with some more AFK Arena. Today we're back with the Mauler team. As you can see, just like all the other faction teams, got a significant amount of diamonds, got a couple scrolls, so we're going to go ahead and do our summons first, just like we always do with our soul stones and everything. These cards I actually got from the Mauler faction tower, which is by far the most difficult faction tower. If you've ever gotten further in the faction towers, Mauler tower is super difficult. And we get a copy of Gorvo there, so not too bad. And it is so difficult just because of the composition that the Mauler team has, lacking the support heroes. The Graveborn and the Mauler faction towers, of course, going to be a little bit more difficult just because of the composition or the heroes that are offered. So let's go ahead. We'll do an ascend here because we did get a lot, as you can see, of blue heroes. That way it's not all full up. And I'm hoping to get Sophia's item to plus 20 with the summons and hopefully get a couple cards, because that 30 right there with the amplifying emblems should give me enough to get her signature item to plus 20, which is going to upgrade her damage a ton. Stargazer, we still don't have enough cards for our very first pull. And make sure our wish list here is good, which I believe this is about the comp that we want. We took Sophia out. And we are going to stick with this comp because Namisu I can actually buy out of the shop. So let's go ahead and do the summons. Hopefully we get some good pulls. We got some Mauler pulls over there too. So we're going to have a lot of summons this time. And it triple off the bat. Look at that. All right. Leica, and Keller. So not too bad. Can't believe it was a triple right off the bat. That is awesome. All right. Got a little bit of Mauler fodder there. Hopefully we get some more elites here, which, okay, one more rare Mauler card there. All right, so hopefully we can pull some Maulers out of here. Okay, copy of Isold. He's a pretty good character, except the only thing that I don't like about him is how situational his signature item is. Bunch of blues there. All right, so we got to free up a little bit of space. Gives us a full copy of Leica. Still can't believe we got another triple right off the bat, which is very cool. We have one card on the table there. Once we go ahead and do all the summons, we'll pull some more Mauler cards. And that's a lot of rares. Only one Mauler, though. All right, so another elite. Hopefully it's a Mauler. I need copy of Nara, not too bad. I need a couple more copies of Brutus is what I'm really looking for. That would be ideal, because Maulers do not have a second mythic hero yet. So hopefully if we can get another second mythic hero on the Maulers account. We do have a significant amount of emblems that we've been stockpiling from our summons. And again, one more there. So, and this team does has Savius. So Savius is capped at 160. All of the other heroes are almost at the 180 level. So we're going to have to, not a good faction summons there. We're going to have to replace him. And hopefully, there we go. We get one Mauler out of all of those summons. Copy of Verk. So he's one that I've thought about. A lot of people have said that he is super powerful when you get his signature item up. Haven't ever used him, so we got some more emblems there. So we'll go ahead and get our second. Oh. Okay, and that gives us another copy there of Verk, and then we'll go ahead and get our card, which for the Maulers, like I said, hopefully we get some copies of Brutus. That's what I was looking for. Which a copy of Skreg, that is very good as well. I think the copy of Skreg might give us enough to get him up as well, because I think he's another hero that I would like to see, which I thought that copy would get him enough. And he's a hero that I want to build. He is going to be the tank. Satrana, we are not going to build at all. Looking at the Maulers, even the tier list for the Maulers, she is the very bottom. Unfortunately, she doesn't perform well on my main account. I do have her at Ascended, and she just dies instantly. A few of the guildies have her 4 or 5 stars, even with the signature item, and still does not perform well at all. So unfortunately, she is not going to be a hero that we're going to be leveling up anytime soon. I'm sure eventually we will level her up. I'm just getting up an elite here so we can get some more fodder. because I'm thinking between those two, we'll go ahead. We have a Skreg there. Thought we had another copy of Skreg. Oh, there he is. There's one on the bottom, one on the top, so go ahead and use that. And like I said, Santrena is one that we are not going to be using. So very cool. So we got him up. Then I have to figure out, because we'll take him. And this is kind of where it gets tough. Because we have 2 tanks, we have 2 DPS. So I'm kind of torn between Brutus or Skreg, but I think I'm going to go Skreg. Just because Skreg is a hero that I've never used and I've heard super good things. So the front line is going to be composed of, I just have to make sure I do this right. We're going to have front line is going to be Skreg and Brutus tanking. We're going to have Nemitsu for support. We'll have K-Sauce for some damage, Sophia for some damage. And that will be ideal. Okay, that's the route we're going. So it is goodbye to Savius and hello to Skreg. So very, very excited. Like I said, I've never seen Skreg. I think on my main account, he's only mythic, but that is as far as I can get him. And I can buy him from the shop. So looking at the rest of it, I don't think we're going to have enough to get anyone else up. Verk will probably be the next one, Verk or Warwick. I'm kind of torn between those two. If you use either of those, let me know who you really think. I know a lot of people have said Verk. And we do have a couple copies of Nemitsu, a couple copies of K-Sauce. So I think at this point, we're just going to wait for some more fodder. That way we can get a couple more heroes up, but very excited about that. Let's take a look at the signature items. So signature item, of course, for Sophia, she is by far #1 S+ DPS. 3% of her total damage output is converted into her attack rating. So supercharging her attack rating. We're going to go ahead and use all of our Mauler emblems that we have for her. And then our second one that we have here. So if you look at the top line now, so we are going to have Skreg and Brutus tanking, Sophia and K-Sauce, which is going to be our damage. Nemitsu, who is our support. So this is a very, very solid Mauler team, especially with his signature item. Beast of Burden will no longer drain energy for the first 5 seconds. This is an ability that he just runs over the opposing team, which is pretty cool, which you'll see when I run the campaign. He's a very, very strong hero because of his stun. Like I've said for all of the accounts, anyone that has CC, anyone that has stun, especially him, he has magic resistance there that he just got at level 5. But anyone that can stun the opponent usually wins the battle. The more stuns he got, heroes themselves, even if they're not putting out the most damage, most of the time they will work the enemy down because you have a minute and 30 seconds in every match. So making sure that you have the ability to work the heroes down, but with the stun, which comes from a stampede, every 8 seconds an Iron-Jaw appears and charges towards the closest enemy, knocking back and stunning them, and any other enemies in its path dealing 150% or 165% damage. This makes a big difference too, is because with the knockback and the stun, you'll see Skreg holds a majority of the heroes on the opposing side of the field. So they actually stay on the enemy side of the field. With that, Sophia has a huge AoE range when she does her ult. So you can actually use Skreg similar to the Lightbearer account where I use Hendrik to stack the enemies on their side. That way, Belinda can do the big AoE, or Sophia on this team can do the big AoE. So just the overall dynamics are very, very solid. So super excited to have him up. Wish I had more gold on this account so I could go ahead and get them all up to 180. But no more Savius, unfortunately. It was time for him to go. He's stuck at 160. That's his cap. So we'll go ahead and we will get into the campaign. So the Mauler team is currently at 16-4. We're hoping to make a lot of progression through Chapter 16 with the addition of Skreg. So looking at the team build now is we want to put Skreg right up here in front because of his ability to push heroes back. So he'll actually push Astrilda back into back here where the Nara Chimera combo is. giving Sophia the ability to AoE the field, which I'm not sure if we should move her to the middle, but if I do, then K-Sauce's throwing axes will not hit the 3 targets as intended in the middle. So let's go ahead and see how we do. Very excited to have Skreg in this combination, and he has a good stun there, and that is his pushback, as you can see. First campaign stage seems pretty easy, and I love Nemisu's totems. As you see, he just kind of drops them all over the battlefield. The team has a ton of synergy. And looking all over, so really kind of took a hard look last night at the Mauler team, just for the fact of, if I was not going to use K-Sauce, another option, which I know Warwick is a possible option, Verk is a possible option, but with his throwing axe ability, it is very, very solid, does a lot of damage to multiple targets. So it seems like overall this is going to be the team for a lot of the campaign. Skreg I would love to try out, again for the reason just similar to Skreg, where they can actually control the targets, actually move the targets around the battlefield, get them in a better position. Skreg actually groups them all up in his whirlwind, allowing Sophia again to do a lot more damage, and K-Sauce as well, and Brutus, because they all do have, with the whirlwind attack, with the throwing axes, and with the falling sun ability. And we are just going right through this campaign. Makes a big difference when you see you actually get one more hero to Mythic. Some teams have 3 heroes at Mythic. And unfortunately with Skreg, as you can see, he went the wrong way there, running over to get the totem. The team is actually destroying the entire campaign stage before Sophia can even get up to cast her ultimate ability. And if you've noticed, her Shatterbolt does a ton of damage, which I'll show you guys in a minute. So even though she's not casting her ult at her level, as you can see, she's doing, I mean, 90% of the damage, if not more, due to her signature item. So it actually stacks quite a bit. Not only does she buff Nemisu there, she buffs K-Sauce, she buffs herself, but the Scatterbolt actually hits the first target and then breaks off and hits additional targets, doing more damage. And that's where her signature item really at plus 30 is just absolutely devastating. Even if you look there, she does that Electrify ability, which is on Brutus right now. She casts it on the most forward target. A lot of times it's Totems, sometimes it's Brutus. When it's Brutus, I really like it, or Skreg, because they are the main tanks, so they'll always be taking damage, they'll always be in the face of an enemy. And when she puts it on a hero like Brutus, is even if he goes immune, he continues to have that little, as you can see, it's on the totem in the very back. And her ability, because she is so overpowered at Ascended level, does a ton of damage. You'll actually see it sometimes on a totem, and it will take down heroes all by itself. There you go. She casts it on Brutus again, and he just burns right through the targets. So this team comp, other than K-Sauce, is pretty solid at this point, because they are doing so much damage. And now with Skreg, is they have the CC. If you look, Skreg is actually just running over 3 of the heroes in the back line, which is just devastating. So 16-16. And it has the little knock-up stun. And there's Iron-Jaw just running through the campaign. Fortunately, Brutus goes down. But if Sophia can get her ult off, especially if it's at full power, I don't think there's a hero short of having an immunity that will actually survive her ability. And as you can see there, Brutus has the Electrify ability again. And with being inside of her static field that she casts, so that actually makes our team do more damage, that Sophia just put up right there. Any heroes inside there get a big nerf to their abilities, which is why when you see Sylvana hop over to Nemisu, she has a very, very difficult time killing him. Not only the totems, is when she's over there, is she's not doing as much damage. So it seems like with this team comp, the next one is going to have to be Brutus, just for the survivability. And then the back line is just going to be dependent on who I got. But right now, K-Sauce, because I know I do have several copies. And there's his throwing axe ability, which does a lot of damage. And I like him being somewhat of a backup for Brutus. So if Brutus does happen to go down, K-Sauce still does have a very, very solid tanking ability. All right, so 16-21. And even taking out Goalless. So as you can see, he's pushing Goalless back right there, right to the back line, where Sophia's ult would be super effective. And she's a hero, like I said before, that you can actually fire her ult off manually. So you don't have to let it get too fully charged. And it's really good if somebody else is casting theirs, because it'll go off and it'll hit the ground before another hero's ult actually completes. So a lot of people said you can just kind of cheese it. And as you see on the totem right there, totem just killed everybody because Sophia casted her electrify ability on it. (16-24). We should be able to say with this, and I want to see how much damage Skreg actually takes. And he went backwards for a totem, but that's okay. So overall, when he's head on with another hero, he doesn't take very much damage. But coupled with that is we do have the superior life leech ability, which is from K-Sauce. And even there, Sophia's doing over 1 million. Which again, Skreg is number 2. Look at that. But like I was saying, when Sophia does a ton of damage, is Skreg can actually hold the line in the back or hold the line in the front, because he does have a couple abilities that mitigate the damage that he's taking head on, coupled with the life leech ability of K-Sauce. That's why I'm considering also keeping him in the build, is when he gets up a little bit higher, he actually increases the life leech ability of Maulers significantly, which will make a big difference. Because Nemitsu doesn't have big burst heals. Totems heal gradually, and then also with his totems, as you've seen, the totems will, they kill the totems. They focus on the totems all the time. Feel a lot of synergy with the Mauler team. And Verk, right there in the middle, he's one right over here that I'd like to see up. I've heard a lot of really cool things about him. But like I said, if I swap out Verk in this case, is I'm going to lose K-Sauce's life leech ability, the ability to boost the life leech. So coming around the bend on 16, I'm hoping we're going to be able to clear out 16. And again, Skreg just running over targets there. I think he did quite a bit of damage. 239. He is doing significant amount of damage. And he's a hero that's not getting knocked back. A lot of heroes, especially with the Strill and a couple others, just get knocked back. He actually just charges straight to the back line, which is just devastating to anyone that's in the back line. So we're actually keeping this fight between our two tanks right on the enemy side almost the entire time. Get a perfectly placed totem right behind Brutus and K-Sauce. And I know Nemitsu's signature item actually allows him to do an offensive totem at the beginning of the battle. And I believe the +10 does a healing totem at the beginning of battle. So you can actually start the battle with 2 totems all the way down, already down, making it that much easier because he's caching additional totems when you already do have a couple down. And then I believe 20 and 30 increase the life of all of his totems, just making him a lot more difficult to take down. So when heroes turn around to focus on the totems, they won't be able to get him down. And most of these stages are only taking about 15 seconds because Sophia's doing 1,000,000+ damage. And that's, like I said, her scatterbolt ability. So there's scatterbolt, hits all 3 targets, which is ideal. The team comp is really just crushing it. 16-35. I'm thinking Brutus is going to need some, it's going to need his signature item next. Because it seems like between K-Sauce and Sophia, we have enough damage, upping Skreg's survivability a little bit as we get a signature item up, but upping Brutus's survivability as well with the healing of a signature item is going to make a big difference. And then I feel like this team's just going to be similar to the other ones, just kind of unstoppable, which is ideal. And again, close to 861k, but Skreg did 300,000 damage. So the Mauler team, I don't think is going to have any issue passing 16. So they run right back to kill the totems. But K-Sauce's throwing axes do so much damage, especially when he does it multiple times with his signature item. So it's going to be an interesting build. But I think this is going to be our workable team comp for a little bit. Pick up a few more mythic gear. Continue to push the Mauler tower. And a lot of times, a lot of people have written and said, I'm stuck in a certain chapter, I'm stuck at a certain point. The tower, the tower and really just persistence for a lot of it makes a big difference. Even on my main account, a lot of times I don't show all the battles, but there might be 10, 15, 20, 30, 50 times that I go through a campaign stage before I finally get it down. Some stages are meant to be more difficult, such as the boss stages, but there are a couple kind of stopping stages at certain points that if you can actually have the perseverance to go through the stage, when you complete the stage, you actually progress significantly past the stage once you beat it. I finished the stage, and then once I got past the stage that I was stuck on, I progressed, I think, about the next 20 or 25 stages once I got unstuck from that one stage. We are pushing right into the new chapter. Looks a lot greener than the other chapters. And again, that totem right in the middle. So the combination of Misu and Sophia with the totems right in the middle just absolutely destroyed that team combination. And if you look, what Skreg's healing for is his life leech ability. So he's only healing for a couple thousand, which is a percentage of his damage. But he's only taking a couple thousand damage from most hits. 17-4, so another boss stage. And Veden's pretty tough. That's why I like Sophia here on the bottom, because watch what she does. Usually first Scatterbolt will destroy him, which it did. That way he doesn't even have an opportunity to go to bat for him. And again, the synergy of the team and the team makeup here, I think is just very, very solid. Even with Brutus's roar to lower the defense, and then K-Sauce doing his throwing axes, the team just plays very, very well off of each other. And the only hurdle that I've really heard or seen with the Mauler team is, one, lacking the support heroes. So as you get a little bit further in the support heroes, and with that is the Mauler tower. A lot of people have pushed very, very far in the other 3 faction towers, but the Mauler tower seems to be the one that's lacking, just from the sheer amount of support classes that they have and the heroes that they can choose. Because like I had said, outside of K-Sauce is Looking at Anatandra, she's a hero that I wouldn't use. Santandra, I would not use either. I've used them both and haven't had good results or haven't seen any good returns on any of them. Warwick's pretty strong, but definitely not a top tier. And then Verk, I hear, again, is very strong for DPS as well as KSOS. So overall, out of your 5 character choices, there's not that many Maulers to create a effective 5-person lineup. And even thinking back to a few patches ago when they actually buffed Skreg, Skreg was not, well, actually when they buffed all the Maulers, because they buffed Nemitsu, they buffed Verk, they buffed KSOS, they buffed Brutus, they buffed Skreg. I mean, the Maulers to a point a couple patches ago were absolutely not effective. Nobody actually used many Maulers, if any Maulers. So even looking at tier and progression scales, everyone says light bearers. Light bearers are by far the strongest and easiest class to progress. So if you're looking to go really far in the campaign, light bearers you're going to need, followed by the Wilders. Wilders are second to that because of their ability to heal and CC, leaving the Graveborn and leaving the Mauler faction just slightly behind as where they fall. (17-12), so pushing right through chapter 17. It's the Mauler on Mauler combats. And again, Skreg just pushes the whole entire team to the back, where Scatterbolt's going to be super effective for Sophia, or her ult, because he does have the ability to hold them there. And any of these boss stages, they are just destroying 1.42 million, destroying the teams even before she can get her ult off. So I'm not sure what hero we get. I think it's Kaz for finishing 16, and I believe it was Shamira for finishing 17. So we'll see. 2 of the teams are in 17, or 2 of the teams are actually in 18. This team is now in 17, and the Graveborn's still in 16, but hopefully tomorrow they can have a lot of progression, because they're a team short. It just seems they just need one support class, honestly. They gave the Graveborn, which I got a lot of thoughts and a lot of feedback on the YouTube videos on kind of building a soul leech or a life leech hero for them. Maybe someone that siphons damage to distribute it among the Graveborn team, maybe giving additional bonuses for Graveborn. So there's a lot of cool ways they could go with it. It's going to be interesting to see what new heroes they're coming up with in the future and seeing how effective they are. And Skreg is a hero that is not affected by CC like most other heroes are. And that's what makes him, again, just so strong of a hero. Him and Iron-Jaw, once they gave him the buff, just absolutely started destroying the campaign. And again, just the pushback right into the totems and just get run over with the amount of damage that's coming through. 17-18, so almost halfway through 17 already. And again, KSOS gets the knockback. Right there's the totem. Destroys all of the targets together. Grizzled and Isabella. And if you look, so Isabella attacks the weakest team member, which always seems to be Brutus. She's been staying away from KSOS, but Brutus always seems to get the brunt of it, which is ideal because that is where his immunity shield comes in. 17-20. Again, you'll see all the damage goes straight to Brutus. But all we want Brutus to do is hold the line until we can get a couple heroes down, which is exactly what he does there. And again, Veden comes inside of Sophia's little crystal and just gets a big nerf there. So 1.3 million damage. We get roots, and here he goes, pushing the whole entire team to the back row. So now that he's got all three of them stacked up, the scatterbolts make a big difference. The totems are a lot more effective, and Skreg actually gets the shield on this point. Very effective. And if you guys watch all the faction videos, Maulers took the lead for the first time ever from the light bearers. So I was very excited to see. And Skreg still just beating on the war drum and pushing on through. So 17-23. So we're coming around the final bend. And there's Skreg's little Iron-Jaw stun. We're going to have to chase down Verk here. So he runs around like the little Roadrunner. 17-24. There's the push, right, everybody right to the back. There's the scatterbolt, which takes out most of the targets. So Skreg's innate ability to mitigate damage, plus his push ability, plus his stun just makes him probably the top Mauler, I'd say, at this point, between him and Brutus, just because Brutus is pretty situational. But even looking there, he just stacked everybody right into the back row. And between him and K-Sauce, did quite a bit of damage on that one. And Golos again gets moved right to the back row. And the totem, he ulted on the totem. And there was the cheese that I told you about with her ult. So you can actually just set off the ult while somebody else's ultimate's going off. And Brutus just got destroyed by Savius there. But we should have this down. Again, 1.35 million on that one. 1728. And there's the totem behind Pharrell, which you've seen. The totem with the electricity buff that Sophia did just took out two heroes right in the back, like it normally does. Such a strong ability, because she is just so super overpowered. Double rooted. So first scatterbolt. Critical hit took Arden to about 10% from one little scatterbolt. And it seems like just level-wise that Brutus and K-Sauce do need some help at this stage. We have a couple carry heroes, but they're just getting destroyed. There's our totem right in the back. And pulls out 5 kills there, 1.19 million. 17-31, so a couple more stages. We might complete 17 at this point. And again, Skreg just runs over everybody. (17-32). And just like the other stages, Skreg needs to, he took a big hit from Belinda there, which he actually went down, but she's taking out the totems now. And that's again where the distraction of the totems come in. Brutus went back to attack the totem. Belinda attacked the totem. The distraction, which there's only 3 heroes that have the distraction in the game, which is Grezel, Baden, and Nemitsu. but it makes a huge difference, especially if you're stacking. A lot of times I'll run Baden and Grezel together on an account. It's very difficult, especially if you can last probably the first 30 seconds of the battle. Most of the time the heroes don't have enough damage to take anything else down or to actually kill the minions faster than you can get them up, short of having a Chimera. The totem takes out Ira in the back with a little electricity buff. And I believe we might just do it, because we haven't even seen one defeat yet at 17-36. So it comes out with a stun there on K-Sauce and then starts pushing him right back. Runs over Arden, runs over K-Sauce. Is about to take out Nemisu. Just like a giant ground-pounding dinosaur that just literally just runs over everything. Such a cool ability, such a great hero to have on this team. And thank you, Javid, and all the other comments on the channel. He said, if you build Skreg, you'll never be disappointed. So I'm going to hold you to it, never be disappointed. And there's his little Iron-Jaw, as you can see, opposite side of him. 17-38. Little stun with the pushback. And even seeing the damage that he does to the back line with that pushback. I mean, he's only got signature item plus 10. I can't imagine when he's doing it earlier in the stage. Because as the signature item gets stronger, if you've checked it out, he actually has the ability to ult the first time very, very early. I believe he needs 200 energy. So he's actually going to hold the entire back line and just destroy it in 17-40. So we did the entire chapter. We're going right through and right into, we'll go right into 18. Maybe. Oh, it's not looking good. Sophia's still up, though. She's still got life leech. Oh, I think I spoke too soon. All right, so that was a defeat. Let's see what we can change up. Which this should actually work, I think. This is the team comp that should work. And Pharrell is always tough just because of his stuns, which their Skreg went the wrong way. But I think if we can get a full powered ult off here, I was trying to save it. Yep, we got it because we got scatterbolts. All right, so that was our first defeat, but there we go. Finished 17-40. Starting 18, which there, as you can see, is our two other teams. Here is our Light Bears right up here. Wilders pushed just a little bit past them. So go ahead and continue our push here. And they're almost popping Brutus's invincibility shield right off the bat. And even there, Skreg went down pretty easy. They went for the totem, so I just cheese Sophia's ult. Because usually by full power, it'll destroy anyone. So even half power, you can usually get most targets 90% down, if not a little bit more. And Skreg just muscles his way to the back line. So 18-3, so we are just right on the tail of both teams. Hopefully Skreg doesn't go down. They got a couple totems to worry about, which that's what they were focused on, were the totems. Anytime that Chimera can focus on the totems versus a hero is definitely a win. Hogan on this one, Sylvana goes right to top and took Nemisu down real quick. So let's see if we can push up towards Arden, get him down, get Hogan down, and here comes the big ult. Got him. All right, so 18-4, 1.1 million. As you can see, as we're progressing, they do less and less damage just because the enemies naturally get stronger and stronger. And even there, Brutus's immunity shield was popped in the first probably 5 seconds. But as long as we can get to Isabella in the back. That was a bad spot for Veden to stop, with Skreg and the electricity buff on him. 18-6. So Strilda and K-Sauce, and again, Brutus's level just being a little bit lower. But him being able to hold out for a couple more seconds. And there's Scatterbolt. We'll go ahead and cheese her ability there to take out the back target. Look at that. 3 attacks right in a row. Sophia just dropped Shamira. 18-8. Belinda doing a lot of damage. Hopefully Sophia can get her down with Scatterbolt, which she does. And the totem took out K-Sauce in the back. 1.65 million. 4 stages away from the Light Bearers, guys. There we pop the immunity shield. Verk's going to go Roadrunner crazy, which Brutus doesn't let him. Brutus just destroyed him right there. Pushing everybody right to the back, including Verk. Just ran him right over. And they are getting close. Stack everybody right to the back, and K-Sauce is going down pretty quick in these campaign stages as we're getting quite a bit later. So stack them up. We should be able to take just about everybody down. They all went for the totem, and Sophia killed them all. 1.86 million. Okay, this is tied for the Light Bearers. Tied for second place here, guys. And there's the totem in the back, which they actually took down really fast. And Sophia has a silence on her. Uh-oh. This is where she's going to get overrun with the ads. All right, so they got one more shot. That's already 2 defeats. So I think if he can hold the bottom, so I'd actually like to get through and take care of Shamira. I know they have double healers on the bottom. But if I could go ahead, see there it's stun Shamira, which is what I was looking for. But once the ads are up, it's going to be too much. All right, guys, so that will do it for the Mauler team. So they are stopped at the exact same stage. So tied right now for second place. Wilder was the only team that got past. AFK rewards, usually after you push campaign stages, are really good. So I'm hoping for some mythic gear or for some... Nope, only got legendary gear. But let's see what we get here. So it was a copy of Rain for 16. So go ahead and pick that. Oh, a copy of K-Sauce, very nice for 17. And let's see where our gems end up. Going through, we're still in 16 on the gems. And there is a nice little piece of mythic gear. Got some more legendary. And a caster hat. Look at that. So another 8,000 gems. A lot of people ask on the faction accounts where I get so many gems. Right there. So when we start up this account with the Team Maulers next week, we'll already have 8,000 gems, and usually about 5 to 7 days. I usually run these accounts once a week, but I do go ahead and do the labyrinth. I push the tower, all the faction towers. I do the guild bosses. So a lot of places that you get gems from. So let me know in the comments what you think. They are tied with the Lightbearer team right there. on 18-12, so hopefully we can progress a little bit further. Super excited looking at the team and getting Skreg up to Mythic. Gonna keep saving to hopefully get his signature item up quite a bit, and we did get Sophia's to 22, so she is doing a truckload of damage. And looking at our plus 30, uses Scatterbolt instead of normal attacks. Scatterbolt's the one that hits multiple targets and it stuns, so that is just absolutely super, super strong. So let me know in the comments what you think. Very excited, like I said, with the Mauler team, and as always, thank you guys for watching.